If you filed your 2026 tax return all the way back in January or February and you're still staring at a processing message while everyone else is getting paid, you are likely experiencing a massive amount of anxiety right now. Millions of early filers are completely trapped in the Internal Revenue Service processing pipeline, and seeing massive Wednesday direct deposit waves pass them by week after week is causing extreme frustration. Today, we are going to break down exactly why the IRS is punishing early filers. This year, the specific hidden codes you need to look for on your transcript, and the exact date you can expect your funds to be released. Welcome to Watson Tax Live. Hit the subscribe button right now so you never miss a critical daily tax update during this highly unpredictable season. The absolute biggest misconception in the entire tax system is the idea that filing your return on the very first day the IRS opens their gates means you will be the first person to receive your refund. The reality is that the Internal Revenue Service uses the first few weeks of the tax season to rigorously test their internal computer systems and software algorithms. If you filed in late January or early February, your return was essentially used as a test dummy for their massive automated processing system. And unfortunately, millions of those early returns got stuck in a digital glitch known as the early filer trap. The IRS computers simply bypassed these early returns in favor of newer, simpler returns filed in late February and March, leaving early filers completely in the dark. Another massive reason your February tax return is still sitting in digital purgatory is the aggressive implementation of the new automated identity theft filters for 2026. Because financial criminals actively try to file fraudulent returns as early in the season as possible to beat the legitimate taxpayer to the punch, the IRS scrutinizes January and February returns more heavily than any other month. If the computer system noticed even a minor discrepancy in your early filing, such as a new bank account number or slightly different home address, it automatically slapped a hard freeze on your account to prevent a massive fraudulent payout. When your return is caught in this massive identity theft filter, the Internal Revenue Service halts your processing entirely and generates an official Letter 5071C, which is physically mailed to your home address. The most agonizing part of this process is that the Where's My Refund tool will absolutely not tell you that this letter is coming. It will just simply say, your return is still processing. Millions of February filers are sitting around waiting for a direct deposit when they actually need to be diligently checking their physical mailbox for this specific identity verification letter. Until you log into the ID.me portal and officially verify your identity using the code on that letter, your money will remain completely frozen in the United States Treasury. If you have not received a letter in the mail, your absolute next step is to log into your official irs.gov account and pull your 2026 account transcript. You need to look very closely at the bottom of the transaction list for a 3-digit code that reads 570. Transaction code 570 indicates a strict processing hold, meaning the computer system found an error and kicked your return to a human examiner for a manual review. If you see code 570 on your transcript, you must mentally prepare yourself for an extended waiting period, because manual reviews are notoriously slow and can easily take up to 45 days to completely resolve. If your transcript shows code 570, you must also look for code 971, which usually appears right beneath it. Code 971 means the IRS has officially recognized the problem with your return and has issued a physical notice explaining exactly what they are adjusting or what additional documentation they need from you. Many early filers made minor mathematical errors regarding their W-2 income or forgot to include a specific 1099 form, and the IRS supercomputers caught the mistake instantly. If this is the case, the IRS will usually fix the minor mathematical error, themselves adjust your final refund amount, and release your money without you having to do a single thing. For taxpayers who claim the Earned Income Tax Credit or the Additional Child Tax Credit, the early filing timeline is incredibly deceiving due to the Federal PATH Act. By law, the IRS was strictly prohibited from releasing these specific family credits until mid-February, which created an astronomical backlog of returns sitting in the government servers. Even though the mid-February deadline has officially passed, the IRS relies on a first-in, first-out processing model for manual reviews. Because millions of these highly scrutinized returns were filed in January, human examiners are still aggressively working through the massive backlog of early PATH Act filers, attempting to clear them for the late March direct deposit waves. If you have successfully cleared the identity checks and the manual reviews, your account will eventually update with the holy grail of IRS codes, which is transaction code 846, refund issued. For the massive weekly processing batches, the IRS officially issues these direct deposits on Wednesdays. If your transcript recently updated with an 846 code and a date of Wednesday, March 18th, your money has officially been transmitted to the Federal Reserve. However, your specific banking institution ultimately decides exactly what time today that money will clear and become available for you to spend. If you are banking with a modern financial technology application like Chime, Cash App, SoFi, or Current, you are in the absolute best position for these Wednesday direct deposit dates. These digital platforms have a strict corporate policy of never holding federal automated clearinghouse transfers. So the exact second they receive the pending notification, they instantly release the funds into your available balance. Millions of taxpayers using these modern platforms already received their Wednesday deposits late Monday night or early Tuesday morning, completely bypassing the traditional government settlement timeline. Conversely, if you rely on a traditional brick-and-mortar institution like Chase Bank of America, Wells Fargo, or a local credit union, your Wednesday direct deposit experience is completely different. Traditional banks prioritize holding these massive federal transfers in a pending status for as long as legally possible to generate overnight interest for the institution. If your official deposit date is Wednesday, March 18th, your traditional bank will absolutely not let you access a single penny of that money until you wake up on Wednesday morning. Do not panic if you see the money pending but cannot touch it because your bank is simply enforcing their standard clearing policies. Another incredibly frustrating hurdle for early filers who finally get approved is the massive delay caused by third-party tax preparation fees. If you filed back in February using TurboTax TaxSlayer or H&R Block, and you chose to have your preparation fees deducted directly from your refund, your money does not go straight to your bank account today. The IRS is forced to route your massive federal deposit to a third-party middleman bank like Santa Barbara Tax Products Group first. That third-party bank must receive the funds, deduct their specific software fees, and then initiate a completely separate transfer to your personal checking account, which almost always adds an agonizing 24 to 48-hour delay to your payout. If you are an early filer who accidentally had your direct deposit rejected by your bank because of a name mismatch or a closed account, you have been pushed into the absolute slowest processing lane available. When a massive federal electronic transfer is bounced back to the United States Treasury, it triggers an automated protocol that converts your digital refund into a physical paper check. The IRS prints and mails the vast majority of these replacement checks on Fridays, meaning if your deposit was rejected this week, your paper check will not even enter the postal system until the upcoming weekend, adding weeks to your waiting time. After waiting patiently for over 45 days, many February filers feel an overwhelming urge to pick up the phone and aggressively demand answers from the IRS customer service line. If you do manage to get through the massive hold times, you must be prepared for extreme disappointment because the phone representatives have access to the exact same transcript information that you do online. They cannot magically speed up your processing time, bypass an identity verification hold, or force a human examiner to review your file faster. Unless you're calling to respond to a specific letter you received in the mail calling, the general hotline is usually a massive waste of your highly valuable time. As you continue to navigate this incredibly stressful waiting period, you must remain completely vigilant against highly sophisticated financial scams targeting delayed taxpayers. You might receive incredibly realistic text messages or emails claiming that your February tax refund is permanently on hold and providing a link for you to quickly verify your bank routing number. The Internal Revenue Service will never, under any circumstances, initiate contact with you via text message, social media, or email regarding a delayed direct deposit. Any digital message claiming to be the IRS is a scam designed to steal your identity and hijack your money the second it clears the Treasury. The absolute best strategy for early filers right now is to step away from the Where is my refund tool and focus strictly on monitoring your official IRS transcripts exactly once a day. The IRS is actively clearing out the massive early filer backlog every single week, and your account will eventually update with the appropriate codes. Check your physical mailbox daily for verification letters, understand how your specific bank processes Wednesday deposits, and stay patient as the system works through the queue. Thank you for watching. Watson Tax Live, be sure to hit that subscribe button right now so you never miss a highly critical daily tax update, and I will see you in the next video.